I just want to let you know that I appreciate all of you that view my channel and all of you that have subscribed to my channel over the years. Now, some of you may know, and probably a lot of you don't know, that once I hit 100,000 subscribers, YouTube decided that they were not going to give me a silver play button, which typically that's what you would get once you hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. And only a very small amount of channels actually hit 100,000 subscribers. It's pretty difficult to do. So I was very excited when I hit that. And you could imagine my disappointment when they told me, it's at our discretion and we're not going to give it to you. And they don't give you a reason why. They just said, we're not giving it to you. Even though I've never violated any rules or regulations or guidelines or copyright strikes, nothing like that. I mean, if you watch my channel, you know I'm a pretty straight shooter. Well, anyway, fast forward to today and somebody made that for me. And so I went ahead and put it up there where I was going to put the real one. So until YouTube decides that they're going to give me a real one, we're going to keep that one right there to remind us to keep moving forward. And as always, I do appreciate all of you. Now, enough of that. Let's go ahead and fix this Civic that's having a problem with the display. Let's get to it. This is what we're working on today, a 2009 Honda Civic LX. Alright, the complaint on this one is our display up here on the dash is not reading properly. Sometimes the speedometer numbers will be screwed up, but mostly the gauge over here for our fuel will be all messed up. The lines will be screwed up or it'll be missing and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to try to fix today. Alright, with the key on, let's see what's going on. So that looks okay. That looks alright. Right here I can definitely see a problem. So with our fuel gauge over here, we could see that our line here is kind of messed up. So these, it should light up obviously where our fuel level is indicated. So down here is where the actual line starts. So it should look like a mirror image of this, where we have a line like that. And right there is where our fuel level is. And so it's actually flipped backwards. This portion right here should not be lit up. It should be lit up down here. And obviously our little gas symbol right there should be lit up, and the F and the E should be lit up. So it should look more like this, where our symbol and our two letters are lit up, and that's definitely an issue and pretty common on these Civics for this to happen. And so this is what we're trying to fix. And now sometimes we can just tap it and sometimes it will kind of fix itself. And this one doesn't look like it's going to do it. But a lot of times if you just tap it like that, all of a sudden it'll flip around and kind of fix itself. Or if it's fixed, it'll go back to this way. But like I said, this is common on these Civics. And what happens is the solder joints in there kind of crack and go bad just from heating, and cooling cycles like that. And so let's see if we can't get it fixed. All right, so in order to fix this, we're going to pull this display out. So we got a few things on our way that we got to get out. Now we'll get this lower piece off. Typically we can just reach under here and start pulling it out. There's a bunch of clips. We just want to be careful not to break anything. There we go. Alright, now we got this screw right here we got to get out. Alright, now our radio is held in with a couple of bolts under here. So we got to get that cover off and get those bolts out. And there it is. So yeah, the other bolt that should be on the other side over here is missing. I can feel it. I can feel it where it should be, and it's not there. So we only had one holding this one in. All right, now we got to pry out on all this plastic, and obviously this is an aftermarket setup here. It's not the original factory radio, but these right here are going to have a plug behind there, so we got to be aware of that. And obviously all this stuff is going to be plugged in behind here, so we got to be aware that's also when we pop this stuff out. All right, I'm going to pop this piece out first, and then I'm going to try to disconnect it from this piece here that's holding our radio. All right, we'll get our steering wheel back out of the way and see if we can pop this out. All right, so we got to get this piece off right here. It's held in by some screws. So we got one here, let's see, one here, and there's at least one or two over here that we got to get out. Yeah, it looks like we got one right here. I'm going to try to leave this radio in place. I don't want to disconnect it. Well, we have to deal with a GPS antenna back there, but let's go ahead and see if we can pop this out. All right, I'm going to leave this piece right here because this GPS antenna for the radio is still attached, and I don't want to disconnect everything, so we'll just leave it right here and it'll be out of our way. But most of you will not have to deal with this unless you have a GPS antenna for your radio attached right here. All right, our display is held in by 3 screws. We got one there, one right here, and one right there. All right, let's go ahead and pull it out and unplug it. There we go. There's our display. All right, here's our old part. Here's our brand new part. Now this is a cheapo one from Amazon. I think this was a little over $100. I believe the OEM from Honda is, I don't know, I think it's like $500 or more. It's pretty expensive. So we definitely don't want to replace it if we don't have to. Now typically what I would do is take our new part and we'd go and install it. But in this case I want to do something a little bit different, and I don't usually do this just because it's time consuming and there's no guarantee we're going to fix it. But I'm going to take this apart and we're going to try to reflow the solder joints and see if we can fix it and reinstall our old one. So let's go ahead and work on that. All right, if we look at it, the main pieces that we can see, we have this outer clear piece, we have this inner piece right here, and we have this piece. And they're all held on with these little plastic clips that you kind of have to do that and see if you can remove them. But we take a chance on breaking them, especially ones like this where they kind of have to pop through, and that goes to this clear piece out here, because if we continue with that, I believe this is, yeah, locking this in. So, and this is sandwiched between here, so we have to get this piece off in order to get these off. But yeah, it's just a matter of prying everything up and then see if we can get these out like that without breaking too many of these little plastic clips, because they're in there tight and they're kind of a pain. And of course it's easier when you don't have to hold it in front of the camera. Oops. Alright, we got that apart, and we got that, and there is our main board. And this is a little, hang on, where'd they go? Yeah, these little rubber pieces go right here. Just a little rubber piece that slips on. Alright, so if we look at our display, down below here we can see all these legs that go through each one of these displays and through the board, and then they're attached and soldered on the other side. So this is the one that we saw there was an issue. I know there is an issue with our speedometer here, just like tiny little pieces every once in a while, and I don't believe there was any issue with this gauge over here. But this is the one we really want to concentrate on, and so if we turn the board around, this is the area right here. We're going to try to get a close-up and see if we can see any cracked solder joints or any evidence of stuff like that. Now, all these components are pretty darn small on the board. Just looking at my finger compared to what we're looking at here, you can see it's pretty tiny. So I don't know how well you're going to be able to see any of this. So we got that connection here, that one here, and that one here. I went ahead, used my phone, and I have a magnifier app, and I went ahead and took pictures of all 3 of these, so let's check it out. Alright, now this first photo, we're going to be looking at this area right here. So take a look at that, you can see the solder joints don't look too bad. Now this photo right here is going to be over here, and so that's our problem area. And look at, see those little rings right there? I believe that is going to be our problem. Those should be cold solder joints. So I think that we have found the issue right there. And then if we go all the way over here, this one is right here in the middle, but it's on this side over here. We can see a little bit of the same thing, not quite as bad like that one right there. Hopefully you can see a little bit of a on a couple of them right there. It's definitely not as bad, which is why we don't have as many issues. But I can see, you know, several of them, like these look okay, but that one I can see a little ring, that one, that one, that one, that one a little bit. That one's a pretty good one, that one's a pretty good one, and that one's okay. So definitely see quite a bit right there also, which would, you know, definitely cause an issue at least sometimes on our display right in the middle. But for sure this one looks like if we reflow it, we might be able to fix it. Now I don't know what this junk is, this clear coating that they have on there, but it looks like, I think we can clean it with some isopropyl alcohol. Let's see if that cleans it up. Looks like it's taking it off. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean all this stuff up everywhere where we're going to do some soldering. Alright, I'm going to take this little soldering pen and some old Radio Shack 6040 rosin core solder and put a little bit on the tip. I'm going to see if I can reflow these. This is not my area of expertise. Don't be copying me. I'm sure I'm doing it all wrong. I probably should be using different solder and probably should have some flux, and probably shouldn't have it on this, you know, my bench here like this, and I should be grounded and all that stuff. So make sure you do all that stuff and follow people who know how to solder circuit boards like this. But hey, I'm going to solder some stuff and we're going to see if it works. If it's broke, we'll put the other one in. And I can change the temperature on here, so I'm just going to put it to 350 and we'll let it warm up. It does it pretty fast. Alright, I reflowed everything, so it doesn't look perfect, but we just want to make sure that each one of those solder contacts aren't touching each other so they don't short out. And of course we want to make sure everything's making good contact. So I went over all three of these, and I think they're a lot better than they were. So I'm not a professional at repairing circuit boards, but let's go see if I fixed it. Definitely try not to get any fingerprints on that or on the inside there. See if we can clean this up. It's got some scratches on it, but we'll try to make it look as best we can. Let's see, how did this go together? Like this? Seems like it. And then this over the top. I think so. All right, let's test it out, see if it works. It's working. Everything's lit up properly. I think we got it fixed. Let's go ahead and get this thing put back together. All right, let's just get this set back into place. That should be good right there. We just need to make sure all of our screw holes are lined up, and there's some locator pins right here that we want to make sure it's sitting on. Alright, we'll try not to drop the screws down there. Alright, we'll get this back in place. I just have to deal with this wire here. Now let's go ahead and snap our radio back into place, make sure we're not pinching any wires. These aftermarket ones, it's hit or miss how well they'll snap into place, but this one feels alright. Alright, we'll plug this in. And get this into place. Sometimes you gotta wiggle this around to get it to drop down in. And we just snap it in. Alright, we'll get this screw in. Alright, we'll put our steering wheel up out of the way. And then we'll just snap this in. Yeah, there we go. This one, they go like that, but you'll want to press up like that, so just be careful with them. Alright, I put a mirror there so we could see that bolt. Hopefully you can see it. It should be right there. I'm looking through the viewfinder. It's kind of hard to see. But those two bolts are kind of a pain. And of course, the other one is over here somewhere, right over there. But this one only had one, so we're just putting one back. But there it is. One final check with the key on. I think we got a confirmed fix. I thought it was interesting. The cheapo piece that I ended up not using that I got off Amazon actually has Honda lettering on there. See that? Looks very similar, if not exact, to the OE one that I installed on the vehicle. And let's see, where's the other lettering I saw right there? It says Honda. So yeah, these markings look pretty much the same as are found on the OE one. So maybe they were able to source some of these parts. I doubt the whole thing was made by the original equipment manufacturer, but maybe some of these parts like this cover here and stuff, they were able to source from the same place. But I thought that was interesting because they're not typically allowed to put the word Honda on there if it's not coming straight from Honda. So anyway, just thought I'd point that out. Well, that's it for this one, fixed with no parts required. Now, depending on what trim level you have, like LX or EX, I do believe the parts are going to be different. So if you're going to replace your display rather than fix it like we did here, or maybe you can't fix it and you tried, just make sure you get the correct one for whatever trim level you have. And as always, if the video helped you out, you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.